All right, welcome in. We are glad to have you with us from down here in Cary, North Carolina, as we continue on at the soccer tournament with target score time as we bring you from Field 4 Group B and a matchup in round 3. And both of these squads hungry for a win. We have a matchup between the Wrexham Red Dragons and the Kansas City 2, which is a part of the Kansas City Current program out of Missouri. And we are glad to have you with us down here in Cary, North Carolina at the Wake Med Soccer Park, a beautiful spot with 7 different fields. And this is Field 4. There were some heavy rains that came through yesterday, but you would not be able to tell as the pitch is in perfect shape. The Wrexham Red Dragons, located in Wales near the border with Cheshire, England, and ironically enough, they're in the red kits today, the all red with the red jerseys, red shorts, where Kansas City is in the white jerseys with the teal shorts. And we are just about ready to get underway. Kansas City coached by Vasil Ristov and Wrexham coached by Gary Evans, who is the manager of this squad. And we are underway. If you are just joining us for TST, immediate turnover and put out of harm's way by Katie Chapman, number 10 in red, part of the English national team, now 42 years old, but brings a tremendous amount of experience to Wrexham. But the TST rules, 2 20-minute halves, and then you hit to target score time. The field is shorter, just 65 yards in length, so essentially it takes away the third of a field when you say the attacking third and the back third. Everything is essentially in scoring in the offensive part of the field. Oh, immediate shot on goal, handled though by Kansas City's goalkeeper, Evelyn Vitali. For Kansas City, in their Game 1 matchup with the Drunken Monkeys, they fell 3-1, and then earlier today lost a tough one to Old Train FC 3-2. So some close losses for Kansas City. This is Sydney Watts. No good on her first attempt. Where the Wrexham Red Dragons, they had a 4-0 lead in target score time in their first game and ended up losing 5-4 to Old Train FC, the biggest comeback allowed in women's TST history. And then earlier today, Wrexham lost 5-0 to the Drunken Monkeys, who are turning heads. The Drunken Monkeys, a new entry into the women's tournament, and they have looked impressive, outscoring their opponents 8-1 at the last look at the Drunken Monkeys. So right now for Wrexham, they would love to get on the front foot and get an early goal here, as they have allowed 9 goals in a row without scoring. And an opportunity here, and headed in beautifully, and Wrexham indeed breaking the streak of the 9 goals allowed, as Jemiah Fields is able to get her head on the service. And an early pretty goal, less than 3 minutes into the start of this matchup, and that is exactly what Wrexham needed. Little energy, little confidence with the 1-0 lead. And now the takeaway by Wrexham. This is Breanne Reed. Played in the TST last year as well for Wrexham. On the women's side, Wrexham making the longest trip here for the soccer tournament in Cary, North Carolina. They come all the way from Wales. They would like to leave with at least one victory in their back pocket. Kellyanne Livingstone, ball at her foot. And takes the shot on frame, but handled nicely with the deflection by Evelyn Vitale out of the University of Arkansas, the keeper for Kansas City. This Kansas City roster is a spinoff of Kansas City Current. This is their debut in the women's side of the TST, trying to compete and make a statement in this tournament. They've taken prospects in the Kansas City area and trained them. Here's Brianne Reed again, number 4 in red, ball at her foot. Gives it to the goal scorer for tally number 1, Jemiah Fields, but the takeaway by Kansas City. A couple of defenders sandwich Bella Field. A big target up front, the 5'10 junior out of Kansas. And another tally. The second goal put on the board by Wrexham. And this is the kind of start that the Red Dragons were hoping for. 2 straight goals to get things started after giving up 9 in a row without an answer. So 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of action. And that goal by Havana Salon, the Florida product out of Gainesville, Florida. Plays on the Jamaican national team. And Havana with a great story. Scored Jamaica's first ever goal in FIFA Women's World Cup action against Australia back in 2019. She is a long-time pro. Started with the Seattle Reign, the Washington Spirit, NC Courage right here in North Carolina, and the Houston Dash as well. So number 6 for Wrexham. Salon getting the second goal of the day for Wrexham. Vitale just gives it a big boot. Kept in play. And now Wrexham looking for their 3rd straight goal. Nicole Baxter wants to give it a go. Deflected away by the Kansas City defense. Tyler Isgrig gets it in the middle. Great pass left off for Livy Moore. Left of the frame. There are some unique rules to TST soccer. As we mentioned, the shorter field. Also, the goals are smaller, just 6.5 feet tall, not as wide. So it's a bit harder to strike from distance because the keepers don't even have to jump, essentially, to take away some of the top shelf shots. Much more effective with the short connections, the give and goes and balls that are the low liners off the turf. Right at the top of the box, Sydney Watts, number 68 in white. Gets it over to Samantha Williams, the Stanford product. But the Wrexham Red Dragons defense holding firm. There was some good dribbling in traffic, keeping the ball at her foot is Skylar Briggs, number 41 for Kansas City. Can't catch up to that one. hits over the goal line. So Loudon Wilson with a good hustle, but for not, as Wrexham will take over. Our starters today in goal for Wrexham, Del Morgan. And she's a good one. The keeper from last year's TST team from Wales, but also has played for Liverpool FC and announced her retirement recently. And she is a coach with Liverpool and wants to dedicate herself full-time to the coaching side of things. Ooh, the deflection, and it winds up into the hands of the keeper, Vitali, who's out of the University of Arkansas. So Kansas City will try to get their first score of the day. As I mentioned, the starting keeper for Wrexham, Del Morgan. Starting on defense, Breanne Reed, number 4 in red. At the midfield, it was Kellyanne Livingstone, number 11, Katie Chapman, number 10, and Destiny Toussaint, number 7. Lindsay Agnew, who had a nice goal earlier in the tournament, number 8, and then Jemiah Fields, number 14. The one-timer, too strong, sailing over the top of the crossbar by Bella Field. The starters today for Kansas City, Evelyn Vitali in goal. Skylar Briggs and Avante Brandt in the back. And the midfield spots, it's Loudon Wilson, Olivia Moore, Samantha Williams, and then up top, Sydney Watts. And that is her right there. Or excuse me, no, that is Wilson getting upended. It's been really nice today, the weather. A massive change from yesterday. I mentioned the torrential downpour that just soaked. The competitors looked like they had buckets of water dumped over their head, just absolutely soaked from head to toe. And right now it has heated up to 87 degrees. So a massive change. Yesterday it was the low 70s, almost a 20-degree difference, especially when you consider all the waters and the breeze flying through yesterday. This feels more like June in North Carolina. So this is Del Morgan, the keeper, who said the last 4 years playing for Wrexham been the best and most favorite years of her career. Getting challenged and coming up with a big play there, Del Morgan. He says, the last 4 years have been my favorite of my life. The players and the coaches, I've enjoyed every minute of it. I mentioned earlier, the keeper in the coaching ranks holds the highest level of a UEFA qualification for goalkeeper coaching. This one centered in and cleared out by Wrexham's defense. A little bit too much pace on that pass intended for Breanne Reed, so Kansas City will take over. Trailing 2-0 here in the first half. Just under 8 minutes until halftime.
On field 4, Wrexham leads Kansas City current 2-0.
This is Tyler Isgrig out of Baylor, who gets it over to Livy Moore. University of Kansas product. A lot of youth on this Kansas City team. And the takeaway from Destiny Toussaint, the 36-year-old from England. Ball still at her foot. Gets out of harm's way and gets it over to her keeper, Morgan. Destiny Toussaint, number 7 for Wrexham in the red jerseys. Played for multiple international clubs, Aston Villa, the London Bees, Birmingham City, and also recently announced her retirement from the game. And that's really one of the cool parts about the TST is that you've got players that come out of retirement just for this tournament, such as Hope Solo, And then you have players that are wrapping up their careers with one final opportunity to lace up the boots. Good footwork. And too much power from Jamia Fields. The 5'5" forward played at Florida State back in 2011 to 2014. So goalies have the goal kick when it is sent long over the goal line, but no punting for the goalies in this tournament. They can only throw it in. One-timer centered, and nice job retreating defensively by Breanne Reed. Taking away the scoring opportunity for Kansas City. Good fight for the ball, and it is Kansas City winning that battle. And shot right at the keeper, Morgan. Toe punched in her direction, handled easily by Morgan. And so Wrexham showing a little patience here. Gonna work from the back. This is Fields with the ball in her foot. Little give and go opportunity, but broken up nicely by Kansas City. And then too much contact, and the foul whistled. So Kansas City at midfield. Posting up, trying to turn, and a nice play there to earn the corner kick from Sydney Watts. Used her body to shield the defender and turned and got the deflection. So a set piece opportunity for Kansas City. A low liner, and coming to get the opportunity was Tyler Isgrig. These two teams starting the tournament 0-2, looking to finish with a strong finish in group play. That ball floated up the sideline just out of bounds. So Kansas City will take over. Keeper to keeper, one strong kick sends it all the way to Vitali. Wrexham also bringing over a men's team. Of course, many watching the documentary on the Red Dragons on Netflix really has boosted their popularity. But both the men's and women's entrance into this tournament. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney are co-owners of Wrexham. So the fan base is worldwide and very passionate about the Red Dragons, and they are looking to maximize their exposure in the U.S. with this TST tournament. Set piece opportunity off the head of Bella Field. Field really athletic, 5'10". A Kansas native, and was the Kansas 6A State Player of the Year back in 2022. And now attends the University of Arkansas, where she's played. One-timer! A rocket shot. What a finish there. Off the boot of Wilson. That was impressive. If you blinked, you missed that one. So cutting the lead in half and getting on the scoreboard for the first time today in the latter portions here of the first half. Less than 2 minutes to go. Oh, and another pretty opportunity here developing, and we are equalized. The quick goal right after the first one on the board. And Samantha Williams out of Laguna Beach, California, had a 5-year career at Stanford, just wrapped up. And this score is even. 2 goals in a matter of a minute. And we've got a new ball game, folks, here between Kansas City in the whites and Wrexham in the reds.
Kansas City goal scored by number 71, Samantha Williams. Assisted by number 68.
Quick turn and, ooh, just left of the frame. That was a gorgeous turn and shot. But Sydney Watts, just a bit too much on that one, and the angle tough went left of the goal. Final seconds ticking off here of the first half here between Wrexham and Kansas City. And again, 2 halves in TST, both 20 minutes long, followed by target score time. So a set piece opportunity here to the far post. No runners there. And that will do it for the first half. It was Wrexham with the first 2 goals scored. And Kansas City quiet all the way until less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half when their offense struck quickly. Back-to-back goals to tie things up. We'll be back with second half action coming up after a short break. And we are back here just getting ready to start second half action between the Wrexham Red Dragons and Kansas City 2, which is a spinoff of Kansas City Current. And 4 goals put on the board. We are knotted at 2. It was Wrexham in the first half, scoring 2 in a row. Jamia Fields got it started. And then Havana Salone got the second goal for Wrexham. And Kansas City shut out all the way until the waning moments of the first half, and then put together back-to-back quick goals. It was Loudon Wilson getting it started with the first tally for Kansas City, and then Samantha Williams, the Stanford product, with the equalizer. So it's a brand new ball game here as we start the second half. Remember, at TNT, target score time, whoever is leading at the end of this second 20-minute period, it's that score plus 1 more goal, which is the target score, who is declared the winner. Every game ends on a game winner, and whoever is able to score that golden goal is given the Golden Fleece, courtesy of Adidas. And then they've got a lifetime entry into any TST or TBT event. And you get to walk around with a really cool golden scarf around your neck, which is a pretty fun conversation starter. How'd you get that scarf? That's sweet. So all the players that have scored in target score time are going to get to leave with a very cool trophy, souvenir. I don't know how you would describe it, but certainly a awesome memory of their time down here at TST. So the first half stats, it was pretty even on the scoreboard and in shots on goal. Both squads with 4, both squads with 2 saves. Pretty evenly matched here. The one-timer popped up over the crossbar by Wilson, who had the first goal for Kansas City, number 58 in white. Katie Chapman was blocked, but Wrexham still retaining possession here. That's the veteran Destiny Toussaint, 36 years old. And now trying to make the turn, Jamia Fields, but she is denied. Earns her team a corner, however, so a set-piece opportunity. You see the players running on and off the field. Free substitutions. You just have to wait until your player you're coming on the field for leaves the field entirely. Cracking it from distance is Reed. And now the pressure by Toussaint. It's been interesting to see the different styles of play here at the soccer tournament. Too much on that one, and Kansas City will have it. No throw-ins. Everything that is out of bounds is initiated with a kick. Earlier today, speaking of different styles, watch Process FC that really just packed it in against the U.S. women. Oh, Toussaint had a short little window closed quickly. No offside, so you can plant yourself behind the last line of defense with no penalty. One-timer, oh, brilliant save. Quick reaction time there by Vitali. That was a point-blank shot. And now a dangerous one coming off her line, Vitali, but not in time. And Wrexham takes the lead. A quick reaction on the first save from Vitali. And then right back trying to make the decision. Came off her line, but could not get to the ball in time. And so Wrexham again on top. And here they are again. Vitali off her line. But this time, Wrexham unable to cash in the open net. One-timer, bullet, but right into the lap of Del Morgan, the keeper for Wrexham. Defense there, holding their ground. Gabby Cuevas, number 9 for Wrexham. Two players meeting to that ball simultaneously. And a corner will be awarded to Kansas City. So the subs coming off for the set piece and coming on. Low liner, and that one is a goal into the side netting. That was incredible. Loudon Wilson with the brace on a corner that never got above 6 feet. Just a liner that went right into the side netting. Did not look from my angle like it bent very much. That thing was just a straight shot. And I think it froze the keeper, Del Morgan. I don't even know if she saw it. You aren't allowed to shield the goalie, even though there is no offside penalty. You can't shield the goalie, but certainly you get obstructed with players flashing in front of you. And in a set piece, it's tough to navigate traffic. And that corner from Wilson just blasted in there. So we are all tied up at 3. Back and forth action here in Cary, North Carolina at Wake Med Park. Second half action between Wrexham and Kansas City. The aerial attempt couldn't quite connect. But boy, Bella Field is really an impressive looking athlete. 5'10", has scored 12 goals and 9 assists in her career at Arkansas. The former Kansas Player of the Year in high school. And a pretty big target up there for Kansas City too. So Loudon Wilson with one of the prettiest goals individually of this tournament. Just striking it solid on the corner. Remember, no offside. Lindsay Agnew was ahead of the defense, but Wrexham was unable to hit her with the space she had. So now trying to connect here. And Wrexham will play it all the way back. We are all tied up at 3 here in Cary. With 11 minutes and change left until target score time. The cross headed in. Nicely to get there from Kellyanne Livingstone. The 26-year-old played at Georgetown, but just underneath and couldn't quite snap it down. Good takeaway by the Wrexham defense. And now they'll be patient with it. Havana Salon, the veteran, 32-year-old, who had the goal in the first half. Number 6 for Wrexham. Here she is, playing it back. Good pressure by Kansas City, and they get the takeaway. Samantha Williams with the first half goal. Gets it to Field. And the errant strike will be a goal kick for Wrexham. The subs coming on and off the field as it is hot with the sun bearing down now here in the late afternoon, getting into evening portion. Almost 90 degrees here in North Carolina. Doesn't get nearly that hot with this kind of humidity in Wales. And a nice job by Morgan there. And too much contact, foul whistled against Kansas City. So Breanne Reed shaken up. Member of the Dominican Republic national team. She had a really good looking service yesterday. It was low and driving to Lindsay Agnew for Wrexham's first goal. The one-timer broken up, and Wrexham will try to counter. Trying to connect there, ends up on the foot of Toussaint. And then right in the middle, not enough pace on that one as Katie Chapman, the 5'7" midfielder from the English national team, had a pretty good look at it, but couldn't get enough pace on it. Here she is, sending it back. Katie Chapman, one of the many legends that is playing here at TST. Here's Toussaint with a one-timer. Read defensively and blocked. But Chapman, who's on the ball defensively right now, has a long resume of accomplishments, including the two-time winner of the FA International Player of the Year in 2002 and 2010. Spent some time with the Chicago Red Stars.
Tied at 3-all in the 33rd minute.
And at 42 years old, still has the love for the game. Chipped up and unable to hit it in the back netting. Dale Morgan, the keeper for Wrexham. I mentioned could be the last time that she is on the pitch competitively, and she will move into the coaching ranks. Already a full-time coach, and it's just so difficult to balance being a full-time coach and a semi-pro player. Oh, read beautifully, taken away the turnover and a transition 2-on-1 opportunity. Shot on frame, and it's good. That was a beautiful connection for Kansas City, and they take the 4-3 lead. The defense on the takeaway leading to a 2-on-1 situation, and finished beautifully by Bella Field. It's always nice when your teammate is willing and able in a 2-on-1 situation to deliver the ball in stride. And Bella Field, the recipient of a pretty assist. Here she is again. Jukin one defender, now centers it. Too much pace on the smaller field, and Wrexham will take over. Now trailing by 1. 5.5 minutes to go until target score time.
Leads Wrexham 4-3.
Good pressure. Forces the long kick from Morgan. But Wrexham with the possession. Navigating some traffic is Lindsay Agnew, the forward. Agnew here last year played for Wrexham. As that attempt sails from Livingstone. Agnew had a beautiful setup and assist to Rosie Hughes in game 1 last year here in Cary, North Carolina. And then she followed that up with a goal just 4 minutes into the start of this year's tournament. Part of the Canadian women's national team. And a long professional career as well for Lindsay Agnew. Ooh, good pressure. Just getting rid of it in the nick of time is Morgan. That ball trailing over the touchline, so not a throw in, but a kick in from the sideline, as is in the rules for TST. But taken away, and it'll be Nicole Baxter playing it back, and Wrexham will try to build. Just losing her footing. Looked like Nikki Hames was trying to take off and instead had to collect herself. Here's Agnew trying to make a turn. Unsuccessful. The one-timer spinning and spins out of play. That was Nikki Hames. Plays on the U.S. Beach Soccer National Team, number 2 for Wrexham. Cleared away, looking for the 5', 10" Bella Field, who gets her noggin on it, but it winds up with the Red Dragons from Wrexham. Gabby Cuevas gets it to Agnew. The experienced vet plays it wide. And now the one-timer right across the face of the goal, but no runners there. The dummy ends up right at the feet of Kellyanne Livingstone. Just over 2 minutes to go until target score time. Kansas City with the 1-goal lead here on field 4 in a Group B matchup here, round 3, the 3rd game of the tournament for these two teams, both looking for their first win here in TST action. Whistle blows, too much contact. As Avani Brandt, number 40 in white, a little bit shaken up on the play. The 5'6" defender out of Syosset, New York, played at Stanford for 4 straight years. She'll go take a breather on the sideline after the physical play. So Wrexham down a goal. They would love to slot something in here with just over a minute to go. Wrexham's defense able to hold. And now with the possession right near midfield. Couple of subs on and off for both squads. A sense of urgency for Wrexham. You would love to equalize before target score time. Otherwise, they're going to have to score 2 to win it. The low liner, and instead it is Kansas City with an insurance goal.
Kansas City current.
That is Livy Moore slotting it past Morgan the left side of the frame, the low liner inside that post, and it is a 2-goal Kansas City 2 lead. They were able to have great success at the end of the first half with 2 goals in the final 2 minutes to tie things up. And now late here in the second half, scoring their 5th goal of the match. And that will be the end of the second half as Kansas City putting up a second goal in the second half to take a 2-goal advantage into target score time. So when we move to target score time, it will be 6. Who is going to get to 6 first in this 5-3 Kansas City advantage? We'll take a short break and we will be back to find out. Coming up in this matchup between Wrexham and Kansas City. All right, welcome back to Cary, North Carolina. TST, the soccer tournament, as well as target score time. And that is where we are between this matchup of two 0-2 teams. Kansas City looking to bust through in this tournament for their first win. They have the 2-goal advantage. And Wrexham, well, they are perfectly aware of how anything can happen in target score time. They had a 4-0 lead in target score time, but lost on day one of the tournament, 5-4 to Old Train FC. Things can really snowball in a hurry, and they just could not catch the momentum after building that 4-goal lead. Gave up 5 in target score time. So the rules for target score time, the number to reach is 6. Whoever gets to 6 goals total first is the winner. And if we don't get a goal within the next 3 minutes of target score time, one player from each side will be removed to make it 6-on-6. Another 3 minutes, 5-on-5. And we will continue down until 2v2. And they will just continue at 2v2 until there is a winner. And that would be exhausting, playing a 65-yard field with just 2 players. Too much pace on that pass, and so it will be Wrexham with the possession, trying to find a way to fight their way back in to claim their first win of the tournament. Really has been a back and forth game between these two teams. It was Wrexham that had the first 2 goals of the game. before Kansas City was able to rally and put 2 tallies on the board in less than 2 minutes right at the end of the first half. So we went in all even into second half action. And the Kansas City defense was able to stiffen, and they have not given up any goals over the past 20-plus minutes to the Red Dragons. All right, take that back. There was 1 tally by Wrexham in the second half, as we were knotted up at 3 before Kansas City popped another couple tallies on the scoreboard for the 5-3 advantage. Nicolette Dries on the pitch now and earning a corner kick for Wrexham. The Wayne, New Jersey native, 30 years old, was a midfielder on last year's team as well, so has some experience in this format. Oh, giving it a go. What a brilliant save. Boy, a quick turn and strike from Jamia Fields. And that was a well-timed save by Evelyn Vitali. She had to get down on the ground quickly to take away that attempt. Fields, you can see how electric that ball pops off of her boot. He was drafted by the Boston Breakers with the 14th overall pick back in 2015 in the NWSL draft. And then selected by the Orlando Pride in the 2015 expansion draft. Here she is. Ball gets poked away, but right to her teammate. And so Gabby Cuevas and Wrexham will try to find a way to get something in the back of the net. Instead, a transition opportunity. The counter now by Kansas City. Here's Bella Field all by herself in the right corner. Tracks it down, but sends it to the foot of the Wrexham defense. We are down to 6-on-6 here in target score time. After a couple of minutes, we'll go down to 5-on-5 and just keep plucking players off until a team can find the back of the net. And a golden fleece will be awarded to the player that scores the golden goal. Adidas creating some beautiful scarves, that one to the right of the frame. But each player that scores a target score or target time goal gets to go home with the Adidas Golden Fleece. And for the rest of their life, wherever they go with that golden fleece around their neck, they have free entrance to TBT and TST. Here's Agnew. Closely checked. She gets it to the top of the box, and Fields trying to create something with her footwork instead. Little heavy touch. Kansas City has it. That pass sails out of bounds off the foot of Ivani Brandt. Ivani Brandt, nice career at Stanford. Oh, nice job of flipping this one in the air on the left flank. Lindsay Agnew tracking it down. 1v1 over on the edge, centers it, and just can't quite strike it cleanly. And then Katie Chapman had a chance to give it a go, and it was blocked. Coming off her line to take away the opportunity is Del Morgan. You can't imagine that Del Morgan has played in heat like this very often. She was part of the TST tournament last year with Wrexham. But as the temperatures have climbed up near 90 degrees, and that rarely happens in Wales.
5v5 now in target score time between KC Current and
Wrexham is
5-3 the score in favor of
located
Kansas City.
right near
The
the border
score is 6.
in Cheshire, England. Field couldn't quite get that turned in. And so we are down to 5-on-5. The field and the space opens up. Who's got the legs to finish strongly here in target score time? So Wrexham has taken Del Morgan off the field. And you see the goalie designation with the penny. But going with a field player, Nicole Baxter, with the penny on so she can use her hands back in the goal if needed, but trying to push up here and create an advantage. Almost like a power play in hockey. A little bit too much pace on the pass from Agnew. She was trying to connect with Katie Chapman. And so now the quick sub and Morgan back onto the pitch in goal for this defensive possession. Good job standing her ground. And the Wrexham defense able to hold. They're able to get the hold here in target score time. So 4 field players each, plus a keeper. And once again, on the change of possession, it is Baxter bringing the ball up. She'll send it up the right flank and get it back. Trying to move and spin this Kansas City defense and get an opportunity to climb back within 1. Kansas City with the 2-goal advantage. Kansas City needs just 1 more. Pretty good looking opportunity there. But left of the frame for Havana Salon. Havana named after her grandparents. Her paternal grandparents' birthplace in Havana, Cuba. Had a chance to go down to Cuba years ago. Just an absolutely beautiful country filled with some amazing people. I was down there covering baseball. But boy, Cuba, the people there so warm and friendly despite some really difficult circumstances. So now we are down to 3-on-3 in terms of field players, but 4-on-4 total. And once again, Baxter bringing it up. Oh, a little bit of space, open netting. Tyler Isgrig could not squeeze the shot off with Baxter playing the field instead of playing in goal. And now for the first time, Kansas City with the chance to pin back Wrexham without a true keeper on the field. A little bit of juke up the left side, off the post, rebounded and denied. Lydia Ungashik onto the pitch for Kansas City. This is a long way to run to put some pressure on, as Mia Powell, the defender from Kansas out of the University of Utah, over on the right side, ball at her foot right now. Kansas City's trying to spread this Wrexham defense out. They've got to be tired as we are well into target score time. The keeper gives it a go, and the kick save by Baxter. She can use her hands in there in the goal, but instead gives it a boot. Sailing high over the top, and it will be a goal kick.
Field 4, we are in target score time. KC currently leads Wrexham 5-3. The target score is 6.
So less than a minute to go until we go down to 3-on-3 here in Field 4. This is a Group B matchup. Old Train FC, the Drunken Monkeys, along with Wrexham and KC in this Group B. I mentioned earlier, the Drunken Monkeys have been the elite of this group through the first 2 games. They are 2-0 with an 8-1 scoring differential. Kansas City just 1 goal away from their first win in this tournament, but it has been hard to score here in target score time. Just cannot string together any connections. So Wrexham with the possession right now. Toussaint, the ball at her foot. Yelling at Agnew, pointing. Flip the field, and now on the left side, Agnew has it. There is no offside. You can get behind the defense and pop it over the top with no worries. Instead, Baxter will give it a go. So subs on and off, waiting for the goal kick. And even though it is going to be a defensive possession here for Wrexham, Gary Evans, the manager for Wrexham, choosing to leave Baxter on the pitch in place of Morgan. So now we are down to 3-on-3. And I think it took a minute for Kansas City to have that register. 3-on-3 action. This is going to tax your legs. And from a scouting perspective, these coaches want to put your most athletic players on the field at this point. They can run on a ball. You can serve it up, have somebody run on it with space. So Bella Field, number 50, in white for Kansas City, along with Avani Brandt. This is Livy Moore. Just trying to play keep away and try to find some kind of a seam. Instead, Wrexham with the pass breakup. 2 defenders guarding 3, with Baxter wearing the penny in goal.
All right, fans, as we head into target score time, it is 1-1.
So now a substitute. Ooh, the save by Baxter. The position player got her left paw up and knocked that one down. Gets a nice cheer from the crowd. Open net is the keeper, Vitali, scrambling back on with the change of possession to get in the goal. And now out wide. Oh, what a stick save. Just putting her peg out there for the open netting on the other end. But a really nice defensive play by Lawton Wilson. So much space, and she was able to get that left leg out and deny the shot opportunity. So now Baxter, the position player with the penny on, flipping over to the keeper, trying to get a goal here in target score time, down by 2. Oh, great job working it around, and the save coming off her line, timing it up perfectly was Vitali. Now shedding one defender, 2-on-1. just can't quite get the hit that she wanted. Fields. And another shot rejected off the foot of Livingstone. And Kansas City bangs it off of Livingstone for possession. And so those players will hustle off the pitch. And the one player that has stayed on throughout this entire target score time is Nicole Baxter. She must be absolutely gassed. The position player with the penny on in between the pipes for Wrexham. And right to Baxter, who does her best impression of a keeper on that. Just wrapping it up, smothering it. Now she flips it over the top. Fields trying to get some room to run, but instead, Kansas City will have possession. The target score time as we are down to the nitty-gritty. Kansas City just needs one score. Wrexham, they need 3. They are down 5-3. As we are down to a 2-on-2 situation. We don't go any further than this. But boy, stressful times for Desant. Giving it a go, and that is the finish. Livy Moore from Deer Park, Washington, out of the University of Kansas, puts it in finally. And it is Kansas City getting their first win of the tournament by a final score of 6-3. The target score time, both teams putting in some defensive work. But it was finally Kansas City 2, the spinoff of Kansas City Current, getting the victory 6-3 over Wrexham. So Wrexham will finish this tournament 0-3 for the second year in a row. You have to think back to game 1 of this tournament. They were riding high, felt great with a 4-0 lead heading into target score, only to lose 5-4. Put together some great goals and moments that they're going to leave unsatisfied as they were winless here in the 2025 TST. For Kansas City, they are now 1-2 after their victory over Wrexham by a final score of 6-3. And that will do it from Field 4. It's Kansas City, the winner, by a final of 6-3.